It was common to say in the 1970s a very basic truth, and that is, whatever your cause, it's a lost cause without population control.
When we think of eugenics, we often think of the Nazis. But what we need to remember is that eugenics was a cause that many progressive people believed in.
Anne and I wrote the book Population Bomb in about 3 weeks, and I became known as the population bomber.
They were actually working to try to control the population of the world, to remake humanity.
If you go to the right websites today, you can find that it was one of the most 10 most dangerous books of the 20th century or all time.
The plan will eventually cover the entire world with a goal of a total world population of 2 billion in 2025 and 1.5 billion in 2100. This presumes the death by starvation of perhaps as many as 500 million people.
International agencies came in and put pressure on the Bangladesh government to implement a population control program.
Poor people living in shanty towns had their homes bulldozed, and they were told that unless they could produce a sterilization certificate, they would have nowhere to live.
That was a year in which I think there were 20 million sterilizations done, and wave of campaigns.
Why? Because, well, it's like what Willie Sutton said when somebody asked him, why do you rob banks? Because that's where the money is.
Paul Ehrlich was saying we're going to have big famines, in the population bomb era. They keep saying these things are going to happen, and then they don't happen. They don't look at the human cost.
So the UN knew well before that something drastic was happening.
In fact, by one UN estimate, worldwide population decline begins in 2040.
Real demographers, even back then, knew this world was coming that I'm talking about.
We have to be very clear about there are some very worrisome and disturbing aspects of declining population.
Fewer workers leads to fewer consumers. Fewer consumers leads to lower economic production, and so they've been in a downward spiral. They haven't got the bodies to fill the houses, to fill the jobs, or to fill the shopping centers.
The demographic transition now underway will have a clear impact on future economic growth.
Demographics said boom and then bust, and yes, everything unraveled. Real estate, stocks, everything.
You do not simply try to stop these demographic changes, you simply try to accommodate them.
Exactly how it plays out in each population is going to be an interesting story.